It's your boy Taz coming live for this movie review. This is Taz on the Reel. I'm gonna bring you all the reviews for the Netflix movies that doesn't get the annual review. So look, y'all, this is the rundown for the month of October. We're going to be covering all suspense, all horror, all thrillers. Each week, I'm going to be giving you a different spooky movie for October. So, the spooky movie for today is none other than The Ritual. What can I say about this movie? It starts off in a bar. Four friends. You can tell that these four friends are from the UK with their accents, and it starts off with that that group of friends that's trying to plan another big trip, trying to plan a get together. Just the guys, let's just go out and have fun. Let's just do us. And there's always one one asshole in the group. It has to be like shoots down every idea. You want to go here? Nope. You want to go there? Nope. You want to stay here? Nope. God, why are you in the group if you're gonna just say no to everything? We don't need you. We need someone excited about going places and trying new things and trying to reinvent themselves and build just a new experience every time that we go out if we're keeping up our new our current friendship. So they try to figure out where they're going, and the guys decide to they feel like they're meeting a stalemate in a sense, and they just decide, hey, you know what, we're gonna go back to the house and you know start fresh tomorrow. Two friends go into the liquor store and just try to get things for a nightcap. Like, we're just gonna get some things before we go home. Stumble upon the owner, a woman who's getting robbed. So, the robbers come out, they threaten them, and right before they threaten the woman, and he saw his friend get murdered and you know hit with a pipe and just hit and bruised, and he wasn't sure what to do. Petrified by just that fear of like, wow, this is real. Which, I mean, I'm still not sure why he didn't call 911, but movie. So, and even more than movie, you have to appreciate a good time jump. If you see something horrific, or if you see something that is just hard to process, or hard to see how that person is going to automatically deal with that after the fact, get ready for a time jump. Just time, it's going to time skip right past that part until, like, hey, we're over it. Obviously, they do a time skip of like 6 months. 6 months later, the guys finally say, you know what, we're going to take the trip that our dead friend was thinking about and go out here and just really enjoy the idea of what we could do in nature. Um, which, you know, that's a good thought. That's a very good thought. Like, when you're in a tropical setting, like a rainforest or a river or a jungle type setting, But when you go to something like middle of the ocean, desert trip, mountain trip, it becomes a different type of trips amongst nature. It's not for me. Like, it's like, yeah, with supervision, this is going to be a great trip. Without it, it becomes a horror movie. Just like when they get out there, they take in the atmosphere, they take in the surroundings, they enjoy the moment of being out there amongst the mountain air, the the grass, the just beautiful scenery, and they take a moment to, just clear their cantinas, and they build a kind of a shrine to their friend, and it gets to the point when they pass around the cantina and all have a drink for their friend, and at the end of that cantina scene, when they finally get down to that last, like, okay, we're just going to pour the rest for you, that was the longest, deepest, like, Doctor Who-ish cantina I've ever seen in my life. Guys, that cantina, if you go back and you actually look at it, because I did, I've counted the seconds that it takes for that cantina to go run out, and it took a whole 15 seconds. You may not think that's long, but think about pouring out a drink for 15 seconds. Go in your kitchen. This is your homework. Go in your kitchen. Fill up a cup with water. Pour that cup of water out for 15 seconds. I thought that scene was very beautiful, you know, for just a group of friends to come together. I guess especially guy friends to come together and do something like that for another friend. As soon as that was done, as soon as we got all over the sentimental moment, the movie had to begin with just one of the friends like walking into a rock and twisting his foot. He walked dead into a rock and like twisted his ankle. And then he was like, nah, it's my meniscus. Like, my meniscus is bad. It's done. It's shot. I'm like, yo, you hit a rock walking. Okay. And it gave me the question of, if this could happen on a trip, right? You know something could go wrong. You know that you may you may acquire some bumps, bruises, scratches, some first aid assistant. But you never really expect for like something major like a twisted ankle or a broken limb, right? So what do you really need for hiking? What is some good hiking things that you should take on a trip, guys? Because I would like to know. I mean, this is not me saying I'm gonna go hiking, especially after seeing this movie, but I would really like to know, what do you guys take on a hiking trip? When something like that happens, right? I feel like this. You should always have like an emergency phone that just works. I don't care where you're at, that it just works. That no matter if you're in the trenches, in the deep trenches of a forest, if you're by like inside a volcano, if you're in an underwater cave, I don't care where you are. There's a phone that they need to have that just works, because that's the phone you need to call the resort. And then they suggest, hey, let's cut through the forest so we can get there faster. No, you know. But without that, cutting through the forest for your friend to get to a safe spot is definitely a good idea. That cut down time, cut down where you're going. Um, but once you get in the forest and you see a deer hanging from a tree, uh, that lets me know that the long way around was definitely a smart move. That means get back out the forest, go around. We're just gonna have to take the long way. Um, we'll get you a new foot, man. Um, Second sign that I knew like it was time to get out the forest was the fact that um there's perfect markings on the tree. Like if you look at that first marking before they get to the house and they, encounter the tree, it's a perfect it's a perfect marking. Like it looks like they took their time to etch that marking into the tree and just be like, ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. Like they didn't have no struggle with etching that into the tree. Um, and then my third thing was you seen a old abandoned house in the middle of a forest. That's never a good idea. And then you go in and you say, this is then you go in and you say, this is the house you get murdered in. When somebody says that to me in a place like that, I'm just going home. I'm just going ahead and taking that trip around the mountain. It seems like a good idea. I think that's a perfect idea to go home. And if you if you hear something in the forest, why are you really shining your light out there to see if you can see it and giving away your own location in the process? Like, I don't think that was smart at all. Then you have this type of night where you dream about your friend getting killed, wake up, one dude pissed himself, one dude looked like his neck was all the way broke, and then one dude is naked praying to a wooden statue upstairs. What more do you need to be like, let's just go back the way we came and go around? And then when you walk out, so, now y'all walking out, now y'all trying to get back on a good path, and y'all take take this path that you don't even know where it leads, because just because it looks like it was freshly made and paved just for you all makes you feel comfortable. And the compass didn't work even to begin with. So you really don't have no other way of saying what direction you're going in and how you can make this better. So, but fighting amongst yourselves never helps. And speculating never helps either. It doesn't help to be like, okay, let's talk about it is a good idea only when you can keep your head about the situation. When you can keep calm about a situation, that's when talking about it is the right idea. Most times that does not happen. Talking about it is not a good idea. And even worse, if I learn anything from these movies like this, I've learned that never walk away from the group without a buddy. Ever walk away from the group without a buddy. It's a buddy system thing with me. If we're in a forest, something crazy happened, it's officially buddy system moment until we get out that forest. You going to the bathroom, take a buddy. You fixing up your tent, take a buddy. You going to get food, take a buddy. You need some water, take a buddy. I don't care what you're doing, take a buddy. Like when you do find something, it's not alone and it's a better chance of you fighting it off. Um, and it keeps going on and they end up where they have to camp again. And they camp, they go to sleep, they wake up, and one of their friends is gone, and then you hear that same friend yelling off into a distance. With what just happened the night before, I would think sleep was a bad idea. We need to sleep in rotation, guys. Sleep in rotation if you think something's out there. If you think that you just need to keep an eye on the situation, do that. It's nothing wrong with you keeping an eye on the situation. Don't let your friends convince you that you're not crazy. Be crazy. It's okay to be crazy. Don't fight the crazy. And what do you do if you hear your friend yelling like something has them in the woods? What do you really do? And as that happens with that friend, you would just think that when I hear a noise, I'm going to run in the opposite direction. Whatever noise that I hear is my noise to be like. You would think after losing a friend and hearing him yell and hearing a monster type sound after him yelling that you would stay away from sounds. I would I'm not going to find a sound, guys. I'm not going out there to just be like, okay, let's go research and try to see what the sound is so I can add it to my database of sounds in life. I don't need it. This is the thing. It came down to two people, the two opposing forces of the whole movie, where, these guys couldn't get along for nothing. I was even more upset for them because of the fact that when you see like a house on fire, stay away from the house, guys. If if you see fire leads up to a house, stay away from the house. If you see any type of lighting leads up to a house, stay away from the house, especially in a forest, because the people there usually are worse than the monsters that's chasing you. It's official. If you live in a forest, you have lights on at night leading up to your doorway, you are worse than the monster that is chasing me and been eating my friends this whole movie. The people come out, obviously, and capture them and, you know, start to feed one to the monster and then the other one showing you that the monster has chosen you to be a part of their little cult or a little um to be a part of their little cult that worships him, and just to get into the and then it shows you being picked by the cult, and it's really crazy that it would come down to the asshole of the movie being the one that survives the whole thing and still has to feel so guilty of not only one of his friends dying, but now all of his friends dying and him escaping from, this monster and just getting out of harm's way. Which, I felt like the monster was too much of a tease. Like, you took us through a lot of the movie not showing the monster and then barely giving it its like its due process, or it's barely giving it its proper respect when you did show it, because it was just like so underrated for the time that it was in. Like, I enjoyed the little chase scene that the monster did trying to get to the guy, and just and then you know it's walking scenes, which it looked like a moose slash human. I gotta figure out if that's a real monster or folklore or something, but it did look like a monster that would have been cool to see if it had longer time. But the movie, um, it really, so with with the guy getting away from the monster, it felt kind of just that was good. That he finally got away from the monster and just finally got that relief of like, I actually made it out alive. But now having to deal with this grief, it was a uh good exit on the movie. So I would have to say, on the scale of 1 to 10, this movie has to be, so on a scale of 1 to 10, I would have to say this movie is a stay out the woods. Yep, this movie was truly just take the long way around. It will not hurt you because nothing will kill you. You know, for the rest of this month, this is these are the movies that we will drop. If you want me to review a movie or see a movie that you would like to know more about, then comment below, like, share, and subscribe, and I will be back to see you again.